let's talk about something that's not very glamorous, but is absolutely essential for any traveler: travel insurance. I know. It's not as exciting as talking about exotic destinations or delicious food, but trust me, it's a topic that you can't afford to ignore. Today, I'm going to break down the confusing world of travel insurance and help you understand what you actually need and what's a waste of money. So, if you want to travel with peace of mind, knowing that you're protected no matter what happens, you're in the right place. First, let's address the most common question: do I really need travel insurance? The answer is a resounding yes. I don't care if you're going on a weekend trip to the next town over or a year-long backpacking adventure around the world, you need travel insurance. I've heard so many horror stories from travelers who thought they didn't need it and ended up with thousands of dollars in medical bills or lost luggage. It's just not worth the risk. I never travel without it, and you shouldn't either. So, what exactly does travel insurance cover? The most important thing to look for in a travel insurance policy is medical coverage. This will cover you for any medical emergencies that might happen while you're traveling, from a minor illness to a serious accident. Make sure your policy has a high coverage limit, at least $100,000, and that it includes emergency evacuation. This is crucial because if you get seriously ill or injured in a remote area, you might need to be evacuated to a better hospital, which can be incredibly expensive. I once had to use my travel insurance in Thailand when I got a nasty bout of food poisoning. I had to go to the hospital and get an IV drip, and the bill came to over $500. My travel insurance covered the entire cost, and I didn't have to pay a penny out of pocket. It was a huge relief, and it made me realize just how important it is to have good medical coverage. Another important thing to look for in a travel insurance policy is trip cancellation and interruption coverage. This will reimburse you for any non-refundable expenses if you have to cancel your trip for a covered reason, such as a medical emergency or a death in the family. It will also cover you if your trip is interrupted and you have to return home early. This can be a lifesaver, especially if you've booked expensive flights or accommodation. Now, let's talk about what's a waste of money when it comes to travel insurance. One of the biggest wastes of money is rental car insurance. Most travel insurance policies don't cover rental cars, and the insurance that rental car companies offer is usually overpriced and has a high deductible. A better option is to get a credit card that offers primary rental car insurance. This means that your credit card will cover any damage to the rental car, and you won't have to file a claim with your personal car insurance. Another thing that's often a waste of money is flight insurance. This is the insurance that airlines offer you when you're booking a flight, and it usually only covers you if the airline cancels the flight. But if the airline cancels the flight, they're already obligated to give you a refund or book you on another flight. So you're essentially paying for something that you're already entitled to. A better option is to have a good travel insurance policy that covers trip cancellation and interruption, which will give you much more comprehensive coverage. So, how do you choose the right travel insurance policy? There are many great companies out there, and the best one for you depends on your travel style and your needs. Some of the most popular companies for long-term travelers and backpackers are World Nomads, Safety Wing, and True Traveler. I've used all three of these companies, and I've had good experiences with all of them. They offer comprehensive coverage at an affordable price, and they're designed for people who are living a nomadic lifestyle. When you're comparing policies, make sure to read the fine print carefully. Pay attention to the coverage limits, the deductibles, and the exclusions. Make sure the policy covers all the activities you're planning on doing, such as scuba diving or trekking. And don't be afraid to ask questions. A good travel insurance company will be happy to answer all your questions and help you choose the right policy for your needs. One final tip. Always carry a copy of your travel insurance policy with you when you're traveling. I keep a digital copy on my phone and a hard copy in my passport. You never know when you might need it, and it's always better to be safe than sorry. Travel insurance is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the one thing that you should never travel without. It will give you peace of mind, knowing that you're protected no matter what happens. So, before you book your next trip, make sure to get a good travel insurance policy. It's a small price to pay for your safety and well-being. I hope this video has helped you understand the importance of travel insurance and has given you the information you need to choose the right policy for your needs. Do you have any travel insurance stories to share? I'd love to hear them in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Travel with Mila for more budget travel tips and advice. Until next time, happy travels! Let's get into the nitty-gritty of what to look for in a policy. When it comes to medical coverage, don't just look at the overall limit. Check the sub-limits for things like dental emergencies, which are often much lower. Also, make sure your policy covers pre-existing medical conditions if you have any. This is a common exclusion, and you might need to pay extra for it, but it's worth it for the peace of mind. Emergency evacuation is another crucial component. It's not just about getting you to the nearest hospital. It's about getting you to a hospital that can provide the level of care you need. In some parts of the world, this might mean being flown to a different country, and that can cost tens of thousands of dollars. So, make sure your policy has a high limit for emergency evacuation. When it comes to trip cancellation and interruption, read the covered reasons carefully. They usually include things like a medical emergency, a death in the family, or a natural disaster. But they might not cover things like a breakup or a change of plans. If you want more flexibility, you can look for a policy that offers a cancel for any reason upgrade. It's more expensive, but it gives you the freedom to cancel your trip for any reason and get a partial refund. Another thing to consider is baggage and personal belongings coverage. This will reimburse you if your luggage is lost, stolen, or damaged, but be aware that there are usually per item limits. So if you're traveling with expensive electronics, you might need to get extra coverage for them. I always take photos of my valuables before I travel, as this can help with the claims process. And don't forget about personal liability coverage. This will protect you if you accidentally injure someone or damage their property. It's something that's often overlooked, but it can be a lifesaver if you find yourself in a sticky situation. When you're choosing a travel insurance company, look for one that has a 24/7 emergency assistance line. You never know when you might need to make a claim, and it's reassuring to know that there's always someone you can talk to. I also recommend reading reviews from other travelers to get a sense of the company's customer service and claims process. And finally, don't just buy the cheapest policy you can find. Travel insurance is not something you want to skimp on.